Welcome to Module 1 of the Risk Assessment course. This is Jisoo Yu from the University of Minnesota, and I will be introducing the foundational concepts and steps involved in conducting a risk assessment in occupational health. This process is essential in understanding and managing potential hazards in the workplace. This part focuses on the introduction to risk assessment. We will explore what risk assessment is and why it's important, especially in occupational settings. Our learning objectives for this module are to identify and define the 4 core steps of risk assessment. These include, first, hazard identification, recognizing the chemical, physical, or biological agents that could cause harm. Second, dose response, understanding the relationship between exposure level and the likelihood of adverse health outcomes. Third, exposure assessment, evaluating the magnitude, frequency, and duration of exposure to the agent. Fourth, risk characterization, integrating information from the first 3 steps to estimate health risks. So, what is risk assessment? Risk assessment is a systematic process used to evaluate the potential risks posed by hazards. It is essential in decision-making processes for protecting public health and safety. Risk assessment serves as the foundation for various important decisions in public health, workplace safety, and chemical regulation. It helps prioritize control measures, informs regulatory guidance. Also, it supports the development of occupational exposure limits, OELs, and facilitates clear communication of health risks to workers and stakeholders. In essence, risk can be defined as risk equal magnitude of adverse consequences times probability of occurrence. In practice, this means that even a low probability event that may be considered high risk if the consequences are severe, such as death or permanent disability. Conversely, something that's highly likely to happen but has only minor consequences may still be acceptable or managed differently. As we go through the course, keep in mind that risk is always a function of both likelihood and severity. This understanding will help you make more informed decisions when assessing or controlling hazards in real-world settings. What are 4 key steps in the risk assessment process? First, we start with hazard identification, where we figure out what health effects a substance can cause. Then we move to dose response assessment and exposure assessment. These steps help us understand how much of the substance causes harm and how much people are actually exposed to. These are combined in risk characterization, where we estimate the overall risk. Finally, risk management is where we decide what actions to take to reduce or control that risk. This is just an overview. We will go into more detail on each step in the upcoming modules.
This lesson has been created by the Interdisciplinary Training, Education, and Research Activities for Assessing and Controlling Contaminants from Emerging Technologies program, a collaboration of the University of Minnesota School of Public Health, the University of Iowa College of Public Health, and the University of California, Los Angeles Fielding School of Public Health. Funding for InTERACCT is provided by the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences of the National Institutes of Health. The content of this lesson is the sole responsibility of the developers and does not necessarily represent the official views of the National Institutes of Health.